What's up, everybody? And this time I'm talking about when you have sex at a younger age and the only thing you get out of it is attention, that ends up getting used for revenge, power, manipulation when you get older. Because when you hear stories of people losing their virginity when they minors before they 18, they might be 14, 15, it's hard for them to process that. They don't know how to deal with it. Even especially where you have it happening to boys, and sometimes it's older men involved who say that's going to make him a man, that's going to grow him up. And so they give him his first experience with a woman. He doesn't know how to process that. Same thing, a girl at 15, and she don't know, the energy that's being exchanged when you have sex. And so you become known for that in your neighborhood because all you get is people giving you sexual attention and seeking you out. And boys and girls at this time, let's just put them at the teenage age, they don't know how to deal with that, process any of that, and they're not getting anything out of it. No emotional connection, no type of commitment. It's just something that happens, that can happen when people are having sex with too many people at a young age. So all you getting is sexual attention, nothing more, nothing less. So as time goes on and they get older, they weaponize sex. Yes, you can use sex as a weapon. So you see it with a woman trying to manipulate a man, get money out of him, have him pay for things. You see men using sex to manipulate women, having the women let them move in with them, getting stuff put in that lady's name, possibly messing up her credit. They basically on like this whole revenge tour because they don't know how to process what was happening to them when they were minors with how many bodies that they had. And so that's why, with the energy, like I said, that gets exchanged during sex. So that's why it can't be anything called casual sex, they say, because it's not like you two just going to the park or out of town. It's energy, stuff that they call soul ties that comes with each person that a person has sex with. So that's a lot of bodies on you, and it messes with your mental. So when men and women get older, then they can use sex for revenge. It's not even about compassion or love or having an intimate relationship. It's just trying to get people before they can get them. And when men and women weaponize sex, there's no type of relationship that can come with it. So we got to be really careful about the first time we have sex. Parents have to be on their sons and their daughters to try and keep it from happening when they're teenagers. I know it happens. Somebody, may lose their virginity at 16 with one person. Sometimes it's their boyfriend or their girlfriend. But I'm not talking even about that. I'm talking about males and females who have experienced several people before they're 18. And then that's the only attention that they get is sexual. And then once they get older, now they're using sex for revenge. It's how they can get it out of somebody, get something out of somebody else. And it's immoral, it's not right, but that's what they do. Then on the flip side, you get something that's immoral and also illegal, where they go to molesting people, not being able to deal with all of the sexual energy from a younger age. Now they get older, and now they go that route, where they start messing with people that's underage, and now you get molestation charges thrown on you if someone finds out. So it becomes really messy. And that's where sex can really go wrong, because now you're messing with people under 18 and you grown. And it's possible some of these people were having sex with people who were grown when they was under 18. Now, nothing came about it. Nobody ever went to jail, but still all of that stays up in their mental, messes with their mental health. And so now, sex is not even something that's enjoyable for them. It's like a power struggle, and they're using it to manipulate, trying to get back at just society, the neighborhood, because they weren't ready to have sex in the first place when they were younger. So we really have to be mindful of that and keep an eye on if you got a 13-year-old or the 14-year-old, anybody under 18, and making sure they don't have sex until they're ready, because it's a big deal. And people, males and females who are not ready to actually engage in that, once they get older with it, it just gets out of control. Manipulating people with it, because they done had sex so many times, they may be, pretty good at it. So the unsuspecting person who gets in some type of relationship or whatever you want to call it with them, they like the sex, so that messes with people's mind, and so they able to use that as a way to take advantage, because now it's just using sex as revenge. They just going from person to person, seeing what they can take from them, and then it's just a whole bunch of broken relationships after that. So it's just something to be mindful of, and stuff that we need to keep in mind. When all you get is attention, the only thing you get out of sex at a younger age, when you get older, people will use it for revenge, to manipulate, to have some type of power over the person that they with. And sex as a weapon is no joke. And yes, it can be used as a weapon. Don't ever let anybody tell you that it can't. Depending on the man or the woman involved and what they've been through, they will use sex as a weapon. And you thinking everything is all good, but no. These people been hurt, and sex is just, a way for them to get in the door, make you let your guard down because it feels good, but they're not even really into you. Sex is like a competition for them. They master it, get what they can out of you, and then on to the next one. It's almost like a spiritual vampire, almost, sort of, something like that, or a sexual vampire. And so we need to be real careful. You got things called soul ties, where you just are permanently attached to the people that you have sex with. You're not even in a relationship, but this is the things that can happen that people aren't aware of in terms of why they're thinking the way they do. But you taking on the personality and everything that comes with that person. So you have to be real careful out here with sex, our sexual health, all of that, because people, it messes with the minds of a lot of men and women, and it's not a game. So just think of people who you might know who have a long sexual history going back before 18. They was male or female, just around the neighborhood, and how they are now that they're older, how they approach relationships, and the whole nine, everything else after that. They might be soulless people because they just don't feel that they can be loved. They equate sex as being love, and that's not all that it is. But that's all they were used for when they was younger. That's the only attention that was given to those males and those females, and then the females have it even worse than the males. But like I say, the older men who tried to grow the boy up and give him his first sexual experience with a woman, and he's not ready to process that. So you grow up and you use sex as a weapon for revenge, or you start molesting because you weren't ready for sex back then when you were 15 years old to begin with. You weren't mentally ready, probably not physically ready. So and just not being able to have a conversation with a person even at that age outside of sex. And so now you get older and you really don't know how to process sex, and so you just know how to do it and you use it to get stuff out of people with it. Now it becomes sexual revenge, and that's what we don't want. So we got to be real careful out here. Soul ties, energy exchanges that happen with sex. No such thing as casual sex, which makes sense. Some may say, hey, no strings attached, that's casual sex. But others may say differently. There's still an energy exchange. And so that casual word in sex just does not go together for some people. For some people it does. But either way, we have to just monitor your teenager if you have one, so they don't go down that path to where they get older and now sex is just something where they use to manipulate. Your son is now manipulating women with sex. Your daughter is now manipulating men with sex now that they're adults. So let's just monitor everything, not get too caught up in sex and just the physical act itself and who we decide to, have sex with. All of that is important. And I just felt I needed to say that about just everything that's going on and what you see with relationships, body counts, things like that. So we have to be aware. So talk to your children about it, talk to your friends about it, and hopefully you have some like minds that agree. And we just have to get more responsible out here when it comes to body counts and sex in general, intimacy, all of that. You don't want to come from a space where you're using sex for revenge. It shouldn't be for that. But when you have it so young and that's the only attention that you get, then you don't know how to process that. And then it hurts because nobody else wants anything else from that man or that woman. And so now they're going to use sex as a weapon. And sex as a weapon is very dangerous. So let's not forget that. Let me know what you all think down in the comments about sex too soon, sexual attention, sex being used to manipulate and to use it as a power tool. You think it's a real thing, or am I reaching here? And, did you feel you had sex too soon, and how did you process that? Let me know down in the comments. It's an open conversation. Send any other topics and videos you all want me to discuss to my email, cregier.mj@gmail.com. It's in the description of this video as well. That's cregier.mj@gmail.com. Subscribe to the channel, Facts of Feelings. That's all one word, no spaces. Put that in the YouTube search, Facts of Feelings, no spaces. My channel comes right up. And everybody stay safe and try and keep your mental health all together with everything that's going on, and just be mindful of your sexual partners and all of that. I'm out.